How's it going, everyone? Got quite a few PlayStation game updates to go over in this video. Primarily, I want to talk about Phantom Blade Zero, as it's going to be getting a new gameplay showcase with a playable demo, playable at the event. There's still yet to be a demo that's downloadable. Hopefully, that will come, because I think this is one of those games that could really use that to heighten the anticipation even more. But we will get an update on that game in about a month, so we'll talk about that. On top of that, a couple of updates on some lower key titles. I mean, can I still say Rematch is a lower key game? Because this game is getting a lot of attention. Credit to Slow Clap, because when I initially saw the reveal of this game, I didn't know how much it would click with a larger audience, but man, it is doing very, very well. We'll talk the sales numbers of that and an update on Painkiller. We have a release date on that, a reimagining of the classic first-person shooter franchise. More on that at the end of this video. But right off the bat, Phantom Blade Zero will be showcased in Beijing on July 26th to the 27th in a brand new playable demo featuring map exploration, storytelling, and signature fast-paced and authentic combat. This is one of those games that I remember that showcase from 2023, and they revealed Phantom Blade Zero, and immediately the light bulb went on my head, being like, okay, this game looks really cool. Are we actually ever gonna see it be released? However, with recent releases like Black Myth Wukong, Lost Soul Aside coming out, and Stellar Blade also, these are all games that honestly, when I've been following them, and as I was following them, I'm like, man, these games look really good. Are they ever gonna see the light of day? Because you see so many games that look incredibly stylish, that look slick, and then, you know, in the case of Lost Soul Aside, you're left waiting a decade. In the case of Black Myth Wukong and Stellar Blade, thankfully, you know, relatively normal turnaround time. You know, it was 3 to 4 years from the reveal to the release of those games, but sometimes, you know, pessimism reigns supreme, and I would be kidding you guys if pessimism did not reign supreme when it came to Phantom Blade Zero. Based on the fact that we've gotten significant gameplay updates, we've gotten demos and, you know, playable demos for people at the events and whatnot, and they've been consistently updating the game, and the fact that they said there's gonna be a release date announcement or a release window announcement in 2025, I think this is going to be one of those PlayStation titles in 2026 that'll be a console exclusive. It'll be on PC as well, but it'll be akin to what a Stellar Blade was, or a Rise of the Ronin was, or a Lost Soul Aside is this year, where it's a game that PlayStation will really put the muscle behind promoting the game, but it won't necessarily be that first-party game, but certainly it'll have a lot of emphasis with its PlayStation release. And I think the game looks incredible, and the best part about it for me is that it's not a Souls-like game. Hallelujah! It feels like we are seeing somewhat of a return of the classic style of action games. I'm looking at games like Onimusha Way of the Sword, Tides of Annihilation, and Phantom Blade Zero as these games that they are stylish action games. They are incredibly easy on the eyes. They look clean. It's slick gameplay, but we don't have to make everything under the sun a Souls-like game. And even these days, you know, you got these Souls-like games introducing difficulty options, which I'm so about. I just saw a lot of people on social media recently with the release of Death Stranding 2, and there's a very easy mode. Okay, yo, clown on people. Clown on people that want an easier video game. If you find so much satisfaction in games being super difficult and only you can play them, or only people very good at video games can play them, more power to you. If that's what you really appreciate, again, more power to you. These days, I want that classic style of action game, and when it comes to Souls-like games, yeah, I'm down with difficulty options, you guys, and I've probably beaten a lot more Souls-like games than the average person, but did I damn near break a controller playing them? Do I much prefer the classic style of action games like a Devil May Cry, like an Onimusha, Way of the Sword, Tides of Annihilation, and Phantom Blade Zero kind of showcasing that to me coming out in the future? Yes, I much prefer that style of experience, but, you know, if you want to clown on people for the story mode difficulties, the very easy difficulties like Death Stranding 2 has, hey, more power to you. But not to go on a tangent on that, I think Phantom Blade Zero could be one of those standouts of 2026, and it's just been great to see a lot of these games coming from, you know, relatively unknown studios really make an impact. Black Myth Wukong, Stellar Blade, Expedition 33, and I think Phantom Blade Zero is shaping up to be one of those games in 2026. They gotta deliver on the game, of course, but based on what I'm seeing thus far, I'm really liking it, and we should get more insight, and hopefully that release date will be coming by the end of the year. If I had to dart on the board right now, I think it might be a first half of 2026 game. Look, if we can set up the first half of 2026 having Saros and Phantom Blade Zero, I would say that's a pretty solid first half, because you would get a major first-party PlayStation release, and then you would get kind of a second-party, third-party release as well with Phantom Blade Zero. I think that would be perfect, but more updates on that game to come here in just a month. And by the way, we got new screenshots of the game. Think it looks pretty clean, think it looks great, and the spectacle and the scale of the game looks tremendous, and a lot of these Eastern developed games shaping up pretty nicely, so great to see that. Alright, moving on from that, do want to cover a couple of quick news notes. Rematch, the game from Slow Clap, has topped 1 million copies sold. Bear in mind, this game is available on Xbox Game Pass, and it has reached over 2.5 million players. That's sometimes, you know, the differential of how many players a game can have versus how many sales when a game is offered in a subscription service, so keep that in mind. And the aspect of that players number can also be people buying it on Steam, refunding the game. So, you know, happy that they gave us a sales number to work with, and that's why whenever you get that players number, you know, be a little bit skeptical of that. Rematch is a game that's being received really, really well, and some additional stats have been revealed. 11.78 million matches played, 58.58 million goals, 33.54 million assists, 69.12 million goalkeeper saves. I've seen it peak at north of 100,000 players, I believe, on Steam. Let me actually pull up the exact number, because I remember looking at it and being pretty impressed with the numbers that the game was pulling. Excuse me, it did not peak at over six figures, 92,000 though, but that's a really good number, again, given the fact that it is available on Game Pass. Budget title as well. As far as a price point goes, it's at a $30 price point, which I think worked out really well for this game. Yeah, $29.99, Pro Edition is $39.99, Elite Edition is $49.99. You know, I think there's definitely a market for these cheaper games, and they're doing very, very well. The $30, $40, $50 games that people are gravitating to, so love the art style to the game. You know, when this game was initially revealed, I didn't really know how to take it. I certainly did not think the game was going to do this well, but credit to Slow Clap, they dropped a banger in Sifu. Now they dropped a really well-received game, and a game that's doing really well in Rematch, and they did Absolver as well. No slight to Absolver back in the day. I remember us covering that game back when it was coming out. Good to see the evolution of Slow Clap over the last decade or so. They're doing great work, so credit to them. Lastly, Painkiller will be launching October the 9th, coming from publisher 3D Realms and developer Anchar Studios. The classic Painkiller series is back, battle through purgatory and fast-paced cooperative action, wielding infernal weapons against relentless demonic hordes, condemned for your sins. The voice of the creator offers you a chance at redemption. Will you seize it or be lost to darkness? Painkiller is a reimagining of the classic franchise, featuring cooperative play for up to 3 players and full offline support as well. Battle hordes of demons and titanic terrors across richly detailed gothic environments. A reimagining of the classic FPS series is coming back on October the 9th, so be on the lookout for that. $39.99 for the base game as well, so well priced as far as that's concerned. But that's gonna do it for me. Again, Phantom Blade Zero, gonna be getting some updates next month with a brand new demo that's gonna highlight map exploration, storytelling, and fast-paced action combat. Not a Souls-like game, happy about that. Look, there's gonna be a billion Souls-like games for you to sink your teeth into. Go play Lies of P Overture. Go play all of the other games. Game Freak is doing a Souls-like. I forget the name of it, but yo, you're gonna have a lot of Souls-likes to play. Don't worry about that. Rematch has topped 1 million copies sold, and remember, the game is on Game Pass, so very impressive numbers there. And Painkiller will be launching October the 9th. That's gonna do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Your excitement level for Phantom Blade Zero, sound off in the comments. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.